Number one, I really don't like watching actors that I don't like in movies. I know what they're like in their personal life, so when I see them on the screen, they kind of bug me. Therefore, I don't really like a lot of Tom Cruise and Mel Gibson movies. Number two, when I was a child, I played a lot of board games. And one of the games that I loved to play was Monopoly. And when you look back at that game and you start to see how the structure of that game is set up, everyone's given the same amount of money. But as they start to go around the board a few times, that you start to see that the money starts to be shifted. And eventually one has all the money and everybody else loses. This is the same thing that has happened to the United States of America. We had small companies that turned into large companies, and large companies turned into corporations. And these corporations now have all the money. They do a very good job on sifting all the money to the top and doing a really good job on micromanaging the bottom, all the employees, paying them a very minimal wage, denying them health care. And so, the government's had to create these social programs to keep people from starving and giving them access to health care. Don't think that I'm not a capitalist, because I am. I just believe that the rise of these corporations, that has a new meaning to capitalism, and a lot of it lacks integrity. The top 1% have now 37% of the money. That is an unequal distribution of money, and it's bullshit. And I think if you look at the top 1% in this country, all the billionaires, they sure in the hell aren't liberals. Sometimes I wonder why people support a political party that has such a negative impact on society. And I think they get caught up on the morality of the Liberal Party. They say, I'm not going to support gay marriage, so therefore I'm going to go for the other side. But if you want to start talking about morality, one needs to start looking at greed. Number three, sometimes I wish the U.S. and the political parties could just agree to disagree, and that we just divided up the country down the middle, an East U.S. and a West U.S., and we could just geographically separate the two political parties, and we could just have our own government and deal with our consequences, good or bad. Number four, I think most people want to be happy, and that's a goal for all of us. I don't think as humans that we really realize on how we perceive the future to be, how much it has an impact on our present. We've always been wired this way. I know that when somebody's going on vacation, we get excited. 3 days, I'm going on vacation. 2 days, and we get on vacation. It's 3 days, it's almost over. 2 days. I know a Friday night is different than a Sunday night. Friday night, if we have the weekend off, we have a great feeling on that Friday night. But on Sunday night, we have a different feeling. It's really based on how we view the future. Number five, I think you could put a dividing line between believers and non-believers. And I'm talking religiously. I've been to a lot of parties in my life, and I've been around those big groups of people that are partying and everybody's having a drink. And then somebody says something that would be considered blasphemous or against religion, and then there's somebody in the group that doesn't believe, that the religion doesn't believe in drinking, but then they have a drink in their hand. And it's somewhat of a buzzkill to the conversation and their defensive-ness. So I have a respect of people who believe in a particular religion, and therefore they have integrity to not drink. And then there's those that don't believe in that religion, that don't necessarily follow the dictates of that religion. They have integrity as well. And then there's these people who believe, but then do something else. It's a lot of hypocrisy. Number six, I think people earn their Friday and Saturday nights. And if I'm going to go out with a group of people, I want to have the ability to be able to say what I want to say. And if I'm constantly censoring what I say, I'm really not having that good of a time. Number seven, there was a study done where men were listening to women's voices. And their goal was to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the sexiness of the woman's voice. What the men didn't know is that they played the women twice. Once when she was ovulating and once when they weren't ovulating. And the voice that they heard that was ovulating was rated sexier than the voice than when they were not ovulating. I think there are a lot of subconscious biological drives in each of us that we're not aware of. And we're always assessing the environment for attractiveness. So everybody's pushing boundaries. Someone's boundary may just be a smile, or it could be a text. It could turn into phone calls. It could turn into conversation where they're meeting up at motels. But we all have boundaries. And if you're not aware of this, you get caught up in the turmoil of all of it. Number 8, I'd like to quote Twisted Sister's lyrics to the song I Am, I'm Me. Then the truth had hit me. got me off my knees. It's my life I'm living. I'll live as I please. Now is the time to stand tall, start your life anew. Freedom lies in your heart. Now's the time for you. Peace.